some shaky lines drawn, pre-market buzz and the futures were on. First couple trades hit clean right out the gate, man, I knew it was on. Couple broke traders in a Discord call, yelling this one's it, watch the candles all stacking wins, didn't think we'd fall, just riding that wave too long. And we spent what little bit of money we had on cheap commissions and a risky plan. Click, buy fast, don't think, just act. If you're lucky, you can catch and run her to the top of the map, where the whole damn screen turns green like magic. Every ticker hitting nothing, looking tragic. Feels like right now, even though that was 1,400 green trades ago. Spending what little bit of money we had, turned it into stacks we never had. Go load it up, let it ride like that. Don't look back, just double the stack. Where the market guys do their damage, every play hitting, yeah, we planned it. Feels like right now, even though that was 1,500 green days ago. Woke up late, but the chart still ran. Didn't even need a backup plan. Every dip got bought like clockwork, man. We couldn't lose. I ain't lose. Hit a fast mover on a low flow play. Hit a hawk, came back double same day. Turn one into 10 in a single trade. Yeah, you know that's the truth. Damn, you know it. Still spending what little bit of money we had. Now it's margin calls, we ain't scared to act. Click, buy fast, don't think, just act. If you're lucky, you can catch it running through the ceiling like that, where the whole damn screen turns green like magic. Every ticker hitting nothing, looking tragic. Feels like yesterday, even though that was 1,600 green days ago. Spending what little bit of money we had, turned it into stacks we ain't never had. Go load it up, let it ride like that. Don't look back, just double the stack. Where the market guys do their damage, every play hitting, yeah, we planned it. Feels like right now, even though that was 1,500 green days ago.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where it is a beautiful Friday, August the 7th, which means what, folks? Not only does it mean the first Friday of a new calendar month, so we're getting the unemployment report. It dropped a mere 32 minutes ago, and it was worse than expected, which is why the market is ripping, because the concept of a Fed rate hike in September is now dropping. So it's one of those weird situations where bad news is actually good news, and that's why the market is literally having a gap up on both the SPY and the Qs, SPX, NDX. We are set. If we were to open right now, we would open above the high from yesterday. So if you're looking at the market and you're like, why is everything all of a sudden green starting at 8:30? That is exactly why. That is 100% exactly why. So just wanted to kind of give you guys the skinny on the situation. So we're going to be talking about the jobs numbers, unemployment report, what it means for monetary policy heading into the August Jackson Hole Symposium, but also the September Fed meeting. So I want to get all of that out of the way. Then I want to talk a little bit about Iran and how basically every weekend we've been seeing a sell vol trade. So I want to get a little bit into that, especially it's kind of interesting because now we're at new all-time highs. And then, of course, we have some individual equity updates that I think we should chit-chat about. But maybe most important to all of you, don't forget, it is a Payday Friday, which means we're giving away some prop accounts. We're giving away some cold hard cash. So shout out to TPT, 40% off, no activation fee. Vanquish Trader, huge 50% off deal. Shout out to them as well. No activation fee. So we're giving away 5 prop future accounts. We're giving away 5 prop option accounts, and we're giving away $150 of cold hard cash. If you are watching this or if you are listening to this, if you are feeling today's show, this is a freebie for everyone. So it's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video, or you could just go directly to my Twitter. The giveaway is a combination of Twitter and Discord. If you're on one or the other, you can double dip and obviously be in both. So I just wanted to share that with all of you. Yes, it is an opportunity for all of you. So check it out. Like I said, it's a freebie giveaway. TGIF, we're celebrating the first week of a new month. Hopefully, we're crushing it already this week. I'm not so much, but I hope you definitely are. So if you're watching this, all you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. If you do those 3 things, like, retweet, and follow, you are on the giveaway. We're going to be doing it around 9:40, 9:45 today. We're going to kind of watch the market open, but then because it's still kind of early and we want to get the giveaway like kind of completed, that's exactly what we plan on doing here. So if you want to get involved, do it soon, because we're going to be running it in about 45 minutes, just so everyone knows. So once again, shout out to TPT, 40% off, no activation fee, code Goonie. Shout out to Vanquish, 50% off using that code Goonie, also no activation fee. All right, so let's take a little looky-see at the market. We kind of were hanging out at yesterday's closing value, a little green depending on when you were checking it out, kind of leaning on the bullish side, and then bada bing, bada boom, we got that 8:30 jobs report, the unemployment report, the jobs numbers, the non-farm payrolls, and we exploded above yesterday's high. If the market were to open this exact second, we would have a downside gap fill. But it seems like we're really, really close, at least on the SPY, maybe not necessarily the Qs, but on the SPY, we're really close to yesterday's high. So that might not necessarily exist when we get there. So yes, I want to break all of this down. And beyond the fact of the good news that we are running Payday Friday, I have even better news for all of you. I'm intentionally hiding the title here because I wanted to share a very quick story. I'm not going to be too long with this one, but folks, I'm going to say it. I know you're thinking it. I'm going to say it. Gen Z is weird. I don't know the last time you had to engage with someone from Gen Z. They are weird. They don't party. They don't drink. They don't socialize. They live on the internet. They are a weird bunch. I could not explain their comedy if I had to. To save my own life, if I had to explain what Gen Z finds funny, I would be here for a million years. You're thinking it. I'm saying it. Gen Z is as weird as possible. I have some good news for you, though. As much as we might all agree that Gen Z is incredibly, incredibly weird, check this out. Gen Z traders go for broke in pursuit of a new American dream. Lottery-like meme stocks and options can seem like a way to beat high home prices, inflation, and AI job threats. Congratulations. Congratulations. Gen Z is finally finding the way. They are realizing just maybe they can fix all of the problems in life by being a degenerate gambler in the world of futures, options, crypto, memes. I love it. Just when we thought that maybe they were just an alien species related to us and we had nothing in common, degenerate gambling knows no bounds. It's a pastime that truly spans all generations, and I'm here for it. So, little fast math fact for you for the day. If you run into a weird Gen Z kid this weekend, perhaps as early as today, and you don't know what to talk about, maybe just bring up degenerate bets within the stock market, futures market, options market, and maybe, just maybe, you can find a common thread. All right, big news of the day, U.S. economy unexpectedly lost, L-O-S-T. It's like the show, but it's even worse. Lost 23,000 jobs in July. So at 8:30 a.m., we got average hourly earnings less than expected. Non-farm payrolls, a pretty big hit, and they actually had to revise the previous one down. So the non-farm payrolls, NFP, way worse than expected. Unemployment report a little bit better than expected. But it's one of these situations where the bad news is the good news. As I said, when this report came out, the market popped. And why was that? Well, look at what just happened to the potential odds of a Fed decision in September. All of a sudden, going into this, it was neck and neck, 50-50. Are they going to maintain the rate or are they going to hike the rate? We're not even talking about cutting rates anymore. We're either maintaining at 3.5 or hopping it up to 3.75. And all of a sudden, because the labor market is showing weakness, well, the Fed's not really the biggest fan of raising interest rates, increasing the cost of capital when maybe the labor market is under a little bit of stress. So right now, Fed maintains rate is now more likely. Instead of being 50-50, it's 62, about 37 are the odds. Now, remember, that's just a snapshot of what's going on in real time. Of course, this can change. There's a lot of other moving factors here. We have what's going on in Iran. We have what's going on with the yen. We have the market digesting even more earnings. We have what is my September haircut going to look like? There's a lot of things that are going to happen between now and then that have a clear impact on the market. I just wanted to do my job and explain what's happening as of this morning. Trump says Hormuz talks moving along even as Iran mulls U.S. ban. So as they're thinking about it, it's kind of this he said, she said. Trump and the administration continually telling us we've won this war for the 86th time. Talks are going well. Iran is basically saying, yeah, we're not talking to you at all. Like, you're crazy. You don't even go here. What's happening? Iran's chief negotiator accuses Trump of theater diplomacy with Hormuz traffic near standstill. Now, this isn't really confirmed news, but I'm hearing that they are working together to put together a production of Wizard of Oz. The tickets are not on sale. It's not really sure who's going to be cast as Dorothy, but I do hear whispers that, in fact, they are doing a little bit of theater diplomacy. Nothing like a good show to maybe bring together two nations. So just wanted to put that on your radar. As things are iffy, obviously the best barometer in the market is not only the risk on equities market, but oil. Oil, you got to be paying attention to oil. Oil rises as Iran's draft plan sees U.S. and Israel banned from the Strait of Hormuz. So they're saying, yeah, we'll come up with a plan. No, we're not going to charge tolls, but guess who's not going to use it? Both you and Netanyahu, brother. Obviously, that's not going to stand. That's going to piss off Trump. So vol might be a little bit higher, but obviously pay attention. Yen rally fades a week after U.S.-Japan intervention as focus shifts to policy. So remember a little bit ago when the Treasury Secretary, Mr. Bissett, had a photograph of a little note on his desk that said, buy yen 10 to 15 billion. And then all of a sudden, the yen on a relative basis to the U.S. dollar was trading at a 4-decade low, a 40-year low. And then all of a sudden, because the U.S. and Japan started buying their own currency, and the currency was so low because of what's happening in Iran, it started to pop. We did that, and I know I'm beating a dead horse here. I sound like a broken record, but just for anyone who's new, we did that because Japan, in terms of on the national level, is one of the largest owners of U.S. treasuries. Remember, our yields are going up and our bond prices are going down. The last thing we need is someone to force sell some of their treasuries, pushes prices even lower, bond prices, and then yields even higher. That's not what we want, especially when we're kind of dealing with our own job and inflation issue right now. So that's why they stepped in. It worked for a second. If you look here, the best way to see it is JPY USD. You could see on a relative basis, they were at a 4-decade low. We popped up, it got hit, starting to recover. So as of now, it's sticking, but it's obviously still very important to pay attention to. It is definitely something that can wreak havoc. So here's a little breakdown from Bloomberg.
Let's also bring in our Bloomberg Chief Asia FX rate strategist, David Finnerty, for more of this. So David, tell us, where's the yen headed?
Well, certainly, if you ask traders, there's definitely no consensus at all. Obviously, look what happened. If we look at the plays earlier this week when dollar yen went down to 155.23. Certainly, hedge funds were quite happy to jump on that move with all the rhetoric coming out of US from Scott Besson and Japan. So they jumped on that move. They covered those positions above 155, and now basically he said we've drifted back. We're back up here. We're at 158. There's no real conviction at the moment because there's obviously still worries of will there be more intervention. There's still the underlying trend of dollar yen higher. That hasn't changed. And of course, you have US payrolls at the moment.
Becky.
So if you
that
look
is
at the position
Becky.
that's going on.
Becky's been going through some stuff.
And one guy goes, look, the market's cautiously long dollar yen, but he goes, there's no real conviction on this at all. And you are seeing people play both ways. Some people in options have done some downside trades, so there's a bit of upside interest. But a lot of people are just on the sidelines because they're going, look, let's get payrolls out of the way, see where dollar yen goes. Now, obviously, even if it's a strong payroll data, some people are going, okay, it rallies, but then does it rally back into intervention territory? And then they come in on Friday and sell it down again. So, the market's very jittery about this data. So wherever it goes, basically the market's unsure, slight bias towards upside, but very, very wary that intervention could come and potentially come as early today day if, dollar yen does get a good boost from the US payroll data.
Well,
And
if
it is.
intervention momentum is sort of petering out, you mentioned that there could be more intervention, but really what other tools would we be looking at, either from the BOJ or the Ministry of Finance?
Yeah, I'll be honest, the catch is they really have a limited amount of tools at the end of the day, and whatever they've used, I remember this time we had aid from the US as well, so the double whammy there, and the fact that dollar yen is back above 158, it just says a lot to the fundamentals. You can say it shouldn't be there, the market's going, but it is, and it is there because we think it should be there. But it is. So I think whatever tools they use, and rhetoric obviously is not enough, or question whether intervention is even enough, the reality is that the market is so big and deep. You are fighting this wave of basically sentiment saying, well, we do think it's going to be higher, but we're very wary that you're going to try and push it lower. But the market sentiment is we think it should be where it is. And because the market is so big, we saw recent intervention, data came out today, that back in April, Japan basically intervened with nearly 40 billion in one day on April the 30th, and it intervened again afterwards. And yet, here we are, we're back here again. So at some point, its impact gets smaller and smaller unless you do bigger and bigger interventions. But at some point you go, look, we're just fighting it here. I think with the help of US, it certainly helps them. But again, the reality is we're back above 158. And if you get a strong payroll data today, at least your knee-jerk reaction, you think will send it above 159 towards 160.
It did
and again,
send it up,
the
to be
market will be
fair.
very wary of further intervention. But the market's basically going, look, that's where it should be. So to fight it is a bit of a futile battle, and that's what history has shown us.
That's what history has shown us. So the call out was actually right. It did. For now, things were trending down. Remember, putting pressure on the Fed, monetary policy, but the jobs we just got were so bad that it was actually ended up being good. On an individual news basis, we had a couple reports this morning. We could circle back to them. None too exciting, but I just want to let you know earnings will be continuing into next week. But in terms of individual equities, the biggest news I'm seeing is related to Meta. Meta ordered to pay $942 million to address harm to kids from social media. A New Mexico judge ordered the social media giant to create a new $567 million fund in addition to pay $375 million in previously determined civil penalties. So apparently, when you are destroying the mental health of the youth of the world, and especially America, especially females, it turns out judges aren't going to react too kindly to that. So not only is it destroying everyone's mind, it's going to probably destroy Zuckerberg's mind now that he has to pay almost $1 billion. Will it stand? Dude, it's probably going to get caught up in arbitration and appeals until the fat lady sings. But that's just what's going on. Some hot news there. If you haven't already, please sign up for the newsletter. It is 100% free. MattKohrs.locals.com. My mod will drop it into chat every single Sunday. You get a breakdown of what's going on in the market. Cheat sheet for earnings. I highlight the main ones. Cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events. We're basically already done today. There might be some 10 a.m. number, but the major numbers of the day reported. And then probably most useful is I give you the seasonality of each day. And you can see over the past 10 years, this day has favored the bulls, so it's leaning bullish. The bulls don't win it more than 50-50, but when they do win it, they win it with better sides, which is why it's leaning bullish instead of straight up bullish. So sign up for that if that's something you are interested in. Right now, I was going to say there are some gaps that we need to care about, but I think we just unfortunately gave those back. Okay, so there is still a gap on the Qs, downside gap fill to the yesterday's high of 719.32 if you're looking at QQQ. As of this moment, there is not an existing gap on SPY. So there is a gap here. And what I mean by a gap is we are literally opening above yesterday's high. So if we open at 720.58, obviously there's a downside gap fill to 719.32. And why it's called a gap? Because you can imagine if the market were to open where my cursor is right here, there's a literal gap in the chart. It's an untested area of supply and demand. There's a lot of theory to why these areas get filled out. A lot of theory. I think the best explanation is the market just likes to test untested areas. It likes to see what the supply and demand in those untested areas are, especially when we skip over the area. So whether you believe that or don't, what you need to know is the statistics are very strong for these gap fills. So there's a downside gap fill on the NASDAQ, the QQQ ETF to 719.32, and then there's another one down to 701.59. On the SPY, there is one not related to today, but there's one from Monday the 3rd, all the way down to 758.58. So I highly recommend putting those on your chart. There's not one on SPX, but there is one down to, or close one, I should say, but there's one down to 7,610. So just wanted to share that up. I guess for the Russell, there's not one close, but there is one down to 29666. So whether you're looking at the SPY, the Qs, or the Russell, there are two on the Qs. There is one close one on the SPY. There's one close one on the Russell. So I just wanted to bring that all to your attention. Talking about Bitcoin, and actually like the numbers today. For the longest time, Bitcoin's been doing absolutely nothing. Actually, it seems to me as if Bitcoin has taken the summer off. It kind of puked into the start of June. It figured out it was a summer and it said, see you guys later. I'm going to the beach and I'm doing absolutely nothing. Clearly range bound. Kind of interesting, though, because within this range-bound accumulation, we're starting to see higher highs. We're starting to see it push the 50 EMA. We're starting to see it take out recent highs. So for me, I'm very, very interested to see, can it push the top of this around 67,000? And if so, on that breakout, is the next target all the way up at 72, 73. So just wanted to share that about Bitcoin. Looking at individual stocks, Palantir is holding its monster earnings beat. SpaceX is still near its all-time low. Had decent earnings. The market didn't react the best. Now we're just kind of chilling. And remember, if you want the videos on the unlocks and the breakdowns, that video's up there. But SpaceX, we know that there's a lot of stock unlock from the initial owners, the initial equity owners, I should say, VCs, hedge funds, employees. So the first tranche is just hitting as we speak. AMD it's going nowhere. It's trying to decide if it wants to be bullish or bearish. This morning it's pushing, but overall it's just kind of grinding sideways. Meta with the news this morning, slightly down. Micron was the high flyer, right now looking like AMD just going flat. NVIDIA, pretty decent run recently, especially yesterday in the first half of the day, is looking super strong. There are downside gap fills on NVIDIA you might want to pay attention to, but NVIDIA back to its fighting weight, and it is the most valuable company in the world. Microsoft finally recovering. I've been talking about this. You guys were making fun of me. Like, you're like, oh my God, here comes third leg. Here comes tripod. Like, you guys were always making fun of me for this Microsoft play, but finally it is playing out. I was adding as much as I could to my long-term portfolio around 400, like this pop to 500. Apple trying to get going for its upside gap fill. Not really showing the most movement quite yet. It might be a little fake out, but just, Apple as of July 29th was the most valuable company in the world. And then it took a hit as NVIDIA went up. So they switched, and actually Google started taking some spots as well. But Apple, upside gap fill, worthwhile to pay attention to. Tesla getting absolutely destroyed in the short term. Long term, I'm still bullish on it, but right now the play has clearly been to the downside. SanDisk, a little bit weaker, below the 50 EMA, lower highs, lower lows. So not really catching itself quite yet, but obviously worthwhile to pay attention to. Intel trying to break out. Remember, this is the one that Trump is personally involved with. When I say Trump, I mean the U.S. government. Amazon hitting an all-time high, holding just below it. Google, the number 2 company in the world, pop up, coming back, seeing a little potential kiss test here of the 50 EMA. If it can start to bounce off of that, I actually like that as a long trade. Broadcom, I'm looking for this to go and go. I do have some leap calls on it. TSM, same thing, trying to break out and get going. HUT under pressure like a lot of crypto plays, but this one's kind of pivoting from a crypto play to more of a data center play. So I'm a little confused why there's not a little bit more love for HUT. Lam Research trying to get that breakout, but thus far getting denied. This is another AI play. ASML trying to get that breakout and go. RUM trying to get that breakout and go. Salesforce, decent push lately. Netflix still just continually getting destroyed, showing no life there. Oracle trying to get the breakout, but it hasn't been so good lately. Paying attention to that one. Texas Roadhouse hitting an all-time high this week, so looking for those golden buns to keep going higher and higher. CoreWeave, failed breakout thus far. Coinbase under a lot of pressure. MicroStrategy under a lot of pressure. Remember, they're actually selling their Bitcoin now, which does not look good at all. DJT going up on the $100,000 a month. AMC red yesterday. Well, color me surprised. TLT showing a little bit of relief this morning, but overall bond prices are still getting hit. NDX, we talked about that. Silver showing some life. Maybe it could hold the breakout. I don't think it will, but maybe I'm wrong. Gold actually legitimately trying to hold its breakout. So watching that. Oil, a little red this morning. I guess the market is saying maybe the situation in Iran will calm down this weekend, so paying attention to that. And then we talked about small cap as well. So just kind of quickly ripping through some of the hottest stocks, the hottest news of the day. You guys have the skinny on the situation. The jobs report, NFP, non-farm payrolls, worse than expected. Because it's worse than expected, that means the labor market is weaker than expected. When the labor market is weak, the old wisdom, and who knows if it's going to hold this time, is that the Fed's not going to hike rates into a weak labor market when inflation isn't that bad. That's the old wisdom. Will the current Fed chair and the current Fed as a whole think about that way? Maybe. We're going to find out, but we're not going to find out in August. We're going to find out in September. So just wanted to share that with all of you, kind of the skinny on the situation. The 1 minute was very bullish, dropping. The 5 minute is still bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish. That's all for the S&P 500. Looking at the NASDAQ, 1 minute was very bullish, giving some back. 5 minutes still bullish, 10 minutes still bullish, 30 minutes still bullish. Obviously, these are my key levels of the day. Feel free to write them down. Feel free to use them. If you like them, use them. If you don't, hey, that's for you. Just so you know, negative gamma above, positive gamma below. This is a constructive bullish setup. Of course, things can change, but this is just how it is as of this moment. We're currently trading at 7736, which means we're around this positive gamma node. So obviously, a target would be the breakout of yesterday's high at 4.2. From there, you have 60 followed by 775. That would be the bull case. The bear case would be if 30 doesn't hold. Then we're looking for the retest of the closing value at basically 710. And then we have below that 7,000. And from there, you have 680 and 665. Obviously, that would be your bear case on the day. I deeply believe it is very useful to have both your bull and your bear case. So whichever one seems to be playing out, well, that's the one that you should probably be taking advantage of. Hang on. Do I want to trade this? It's 925. Do I have the balls to trade at 925? Do I have the balls to trade at 925?
Order filled.
I do. I do. We'll see if we get a fill. I just saw something interesting on this new charting software that I'm using. I will cover that in a second with all of you. Let me just get prepped up here. If you want to trade with me, GoonieTrading.com. We have a trading Discord. People are in there every single day. There's a voice chat. There's a written chat. A lot of cool stuff going on. So if that's for you, GoonieTrading.com. Today is a Payday Friday giveaway. If you want to get your chance out of $150 cold hard cash, maybe some future prop accounts, maybe some option prop accounts, all SIMDA funded. TPT, shout out to them. Vanquish, shout out to them. We're giving it all away. It is free for everyone to enter. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. Once again, shout out to TPT. Shout out to Vanquish. We'll see how that all goes. All right, we're going to be looking at options flow when the market actually gets going. Let me drop this. We have about 3 minutes left. Here. About 3 minutes. We'll see. We'll see. SPY is below the high. The Qs do have a downside gap fill to 719.32. 719.32. All right, cool. All right. 1 minute went bearish. 5 minute, the test is coming up. 1 minute went bearish. The 5 minute test is coming up. So the shortest time frame after a huge pop is taking enough of a hit that it's like, okay, let's see where it goes. But the 5, the 10, the 30, the 5, the 10, the 30 is bullish across the board. Once again, if you're just joining in right now, it is important to note that we have generally negative gamma above. There's a bit of negative gamma down to 7720. So that's kind of like just above the last closing value, but really negative gamma exists from 7720 right here pretty much all the way up. And then below that, there's a little pocket of negative gamma around 7665, but other than that, it is positive gamma beneath. Is this trade going to hit?
Order
all right,
filled.
Locking it in before the market opens. So I've been doing a little bit of scalp trading, and it wasn't necessarily because I like scalp trading. I am kind of testing out how I like this new charting software. And You guys know that I obviously like statistics and structure, but really order flow is one of my favorite ways to trade. And I've been hearing murmurs that this is the hot new kid on the block to be able to track order flow. So I just got mine set up. And folks, just so you guys know, I'm not an affiliate. I'm not a partner. I have no sponsorship. I want to test it out. Generally, when it comes to this trading software stuff, I like to test it all before I like have any official relationship with the company. So if you're asking, do I have a code, this, that, or the other thing? The answer is no. I was interested in this for 2 reasons, and I want to use it with you guys today. Number one, actually 3 reasons. Number one, when there's a new piece of software, folks, you don't have to piss away your money to test it. Let me piss away my money, and we'll kind of decide together as a community if we like it, if it's useful, if it's not useful. You don't have to waste your money. Let me waste my money before we decide to do something, if it's good or not. Number 2, obviously, as a streamer, I kind of like the look of these charts. I mean, like, Ninja's not bad. I put a lot of effort into setting up my Ninja, but this looks sleek. I love the colors. I love the look. I think it presents very well on the stream. So, okay, there's a visual aspect there. And then number 3, as I said, not only do I like the stats and the structure, but I like to look at order flow. That's why we look at Bookmap. And this is kind of nice because it integrates the two. It's almost like I'm getting the charting of Ninja, but then I'm getting the order flow of Bookmap, and it's kind of putting it together. And I spent a lot of time this morning trying to set up my indicators of how I like them, how I don't like them. I've used similar software to this in the past, and the reason I kind of stopped using it was because it didn't display well on stream at all. But this, I think, displays really, really well. So I spent all morning trying to set up my indicators, and I guess this is a very long-winded way of me saying that's why I have some scalp trades already, is because I was trying to set it up and I was trying to make sure I was reading everything right, and obviously I was trading off of it. So I do have a couple scalp trades in. There's already an extreme amount of slippage, I should be up 445 on each account, and I'm only up 167, 147. So that's a little bit awkward. A wee bit awkward, but just want to let you know what's going on. I'm going to test it out for a day or 2, and then if I like it, maybe I'll see if I partner with them or not, but who knows. Like I said, I like the visuals. I don't want you guys wasting your money, and I do like order flow trading. Like, that's kind of like what I'm really, really into. So kind of interesting. But anyway, just wanted to explain that. We could cover it in more details a bit later on. And on that note,
Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun.
remember, it's just money. You can't take it with you when you go. There's no point in going into the weekend with a little bit of green. Remember, folks, the major thing you want to do is go into the weekend with a lot of green. You might as well go down swinging. You might as well go down swinging. What is this? Purple green secondary colored from art class. Don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it, Gary. Thank you. I didn't think there were classes to colors, but here we are. You learn something every single day. You learn something every single day. I guess Gary is a color classist, but I do like it. I think it comes off. It looks pretty well. It looks like comes off well. It looks strong in my opinion, but hey, that's just one guy's opinion. Palantir is continuing to rip up another 4%. SpaceX. What else is moving? SanDisk is up. SanDisk was up, kind of giving it back. Hut's up 4%. Marvel's up 3%. CoreWeave's up 5%. Silver's up quite a bit. So some of the biggest gainers I see right now are CoreWeave and Palantir. CoreWeave and Palantir. Hang on, someone just sent this in. What's this?
The market rewarded those who knew things.
Looks like we have a little bit of a Truth API update from the Trump media team, and specifically Barron Trump.
For years, the market rewarded those who knew things first. They called it illegal. Not anymore. Introducing Truth API. Tariffs at 2 a.m., you're already short. A pardon for a major shareholder, you bought at the open. Restarting the Iran war, you'll know first. Truth API. It's not insider trading when the insider sells you the feed. Just $100,000 a month, which, let's be honest, you'll make back by Tuesday. Truth API. It's fucked up, but real. Not available to poor people.
Take all
For
my...
years, the market rewarded those who knew things first. They called it illegal. Not anymore.
I love that. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
That's the best. Not anymore. Not available to poor people. So if you identify as a poor, probably not for you. Probably not for you. That's hilarious. That was a good one. Shout out. Appreciate when you guys send in those little golden nuggets. Every day the simulation gets more fledged out. I'm of the opinion that maybe, just maybe, the aliens overwatching our simulation took a lunch break and it got a little extended. And while they were gone, someone accidentally turned the knob up to 10. But no, I have a lot of like deeply held opinions on why our simulation is getting crazy. It used to be called insider trading. Referred to. It used to be illegal until now. What a line. What a line. All right. How are we looking with flow thus far? Remember, we're running the Payday Friday early. So guys, like, just do this. If you're watching this, right, like, just do it right now. Like, retweet and follow. Like, retweet and follow. 115 of you have already figured it out. We're going to be running it within like 10 minutes. I want to run it earlier today, just as the market's kind of chopping and opening up. And then by the time we actually have some structure to play off of, I want to be ready to go. So like I said, if you want your shot at some cash, at a prop account, at a different type of prop account, all you have to do, like, retweet, and follow. Do it right now as you're listening to me, as you're feeling me. We're going to be running this in like 10 minutes. So like I said, all you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. And then we're just going to do the classic Twitter picker. We're going to do the picker on Discord, and we're going to go from there. Actually, speaking of Discord, I might as well just start the Discord giveaway now. Might as well just start the giveaway now. So /giveaway 10 min. We're going to have 7, and then we're going to have a racer. Okay. So if you're in the Discord, everyone, good luck. Okay. If you're in the Discord, you are good to go. You are good to go. You are good to go. You are G2G. G2G. 100K divided by 800 viewers is 1,200 or 120 bucks each. Come on, chat. If you guys want to go in, we'll go halvesies. If we just get, I mean, we could do it. 1,000 people. Let's just get 1,000 people to commit $100 a month, and we can share the Truth API feed. That's all we have to do. That's all we have to do. That's all she has to do. What is the high there? 13. What is the high there? 8. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Market's moving rather quickly. Let's switch this up. Let's give you guys some book map above my head. Okay, you have book map. They just destroyed that trade. Uh-oh, things are turning. Did something happen that I'm unaware of? SPY options starting to take a hit there, brother. SPY options starting to take a wee bit of a hit. Are they going to full trip this? The data was bad, which is kind of why we had a positive reaction, but sometimes we see the full trip type of days. We still haven't hit the downside gap fill on the Qs. Once again, that is 719.32. So maybe the play is just quickly for that. NVIDIA trying to show some life. Interesting. Interessante, mi amigo. 1 minute is tried to get going bullish, could not. 1 minute did go bullish, quickly got smacked. Quickly got smacked. Huh. And we are heading to, I believe, an important level. Yeah, this downside gap fill. The downside gap fill on the Qs is roughly, we already hit it on NQ. So we hit it on NQ. We did not hit it on the QQQ ETF. But just to show you, here's the high from yesterday at 86. So we kind of just already took that out. So there is a gap. that exists on QQQ. We just already hit it on NQ if you're looking for like roughly the equivalent levels. All right. Like I said, we're going to be running this very, very shortly. If you haven't already, like, retweet, and follow, like, retweet, and follow, like, retweet, and follow. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. 149 of you have already figured it out. And all you have to do is do that. And then we're going to do the Twitter picker and you will be good to go. Let me just kind of get oop, that's not right. Twitter picker. Twitter picker. Okay, so we have this one. We'll be doing this as soon as we are ready. So that is set up. Good, good, good. I'm feeling it today. It's probably because I had way too much coffee, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, brother. Dude, can I I know we've already been sharing stories, but I want to share a story with you. So as you guys can tell from the hot model on your screen right now, me, there was a really interesting development at my barber yesterday. Shout out to my barber. He is awesome. If you happen to be watching this, love the haircut, love your vibe, but we need to talk about your diet. At some point in my haircut, my eyes drift to his table in front of me, okay? And I could see that he has a coffee, but this isn't a normal coffee. This is the craziest coffee order I have ever seen in my entire life. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm a coffee snob or anti-coffee. I'm a coffee enthusiast. I probably have more coffee than I should in a day. I'm by no means anti-coffee. So this commentary is coming from a person who drinks a lot of coffee. I support coffee drinkers. But with that being said, you guys need to appreciate the order that my barber had yesterday. He had the big Dunkin' cup, like the big boy, like a large, like this thing was a full freaking liter. It honestly might be larger than a liter. I do not know. It's a big order. So the order was large cold brew, black. Okay, I could appreciate that. Putting some hair on his chest. Under that, no ice. Okay, I get it. He's trying to be financially reasonable. I don't need the ice. Take the ice out. I want more of the liquid. I want more of the fuel. Okay, that's probably not that. You're sitting there, you're like, yeah, dude, I drink that. That's not that crazy. No milk, no sugar. So he's healthy. This thing is straight black, large, cold brew, nothing in it. Just less ice. Actually, give me as much liquid as I can. Okay, so it's kind of getting up there. You guys can tell this guy likes his coffee. The final line of the order: extra shot of espresso. This guy was drinking straight up jet fuel, brother. A large thing of black cold brew, less ice for more liquid, and put in espresso. So I make a joke about it. I'm like, dude, like, is that your, like, you feeling wired? Like, how you doing today? He's like, oh, that's just my lunch. I was like, oh, you do this every day? He's like, yeah. I was like, is that the only coffee you consume per day? He's like, oh, no. Before I come to work, I also have 4 shots of espressos. This homie, on an average day's basis, on an average day, is making it through life by ripping 4 shots of espresso in the morning, black, nothing. I asked him. And then from there, he proceeds to drink a large cold brew, nothing in it, no ice, more liquid, and another shot of espresso. That's his, like, common consumption. And I just, what is it? I asked, I was like, how's your heart? He's like, dude, I'm wired. I was like, no shit, you're wired. Like, bro, man, like, absolute jet fuel. If that guy needed to sprint through a fucking brick wall, you could tell that he would have no issue doing it. You could tell that he would have absolutely zero issue sprinting through a brick wall. I loved it. Handshaking next to her head was this. What's the crazy thing is he was actually, like, seemingly calm. I tried to peek his hands to see what was going on. Nope. He was good. He would, dude, like, how can you have that much caffeine in your system? I mean, his hands were as, like, steady as a fucking surgeon. I was like, I just want to know what is going on with, I don't know what part of your body processes caffeine. I wanted to say metabolism. That sounds like wrong and stupid. So whatever part of your body it is that handles the caffeine molecule, his needs to be studied. His needs to be studied. I drink straight espresso. Like, the grinds, you just, like, spoonful into your mouth. When I used to work 24 hours straight, 2 pots of coffee, maybe 3, especially if it's cold out. I did go to the bathroom. Coffee is the best thing thinks since sliced bread. I mean, I'm a fan of it. I'm definitely a fan of it. Espresso daily reduces chances of prostate cancer. Well, that's good news. I think drinking black coffee, I've read, is also good for your liver. Your liver.
Order filled.
Oops. Your liver. I took a little bit of a cheeky little long there, trying to lock in a quick 80. I've decided I'm just going to scalp today. I'm not swinging for it today. I'm going to try to, maybe I will. Who knows? I say that as if I'm going to magically become a disciplined trader. But no, I just liked it. I'm mad at the slippage. Every account should be up 525, but because of slippage and how this copying is going, it is not. I'm up literally half that. So I've copy traded all of this perfectly, and the sim account that is theoretically perfect is up 525, and I am up half of that due to slippage. So that sucks. That absolutely sucks. That absolutely sucks. Absolutely. Really bad slippage. Really too much caffeine makes your eyes twitch. I heard if you have high cortisol levels, that can also make your eye twitch. I don't know if it's real because I heard it on the internet, but hey, sounds real enough to me. You know what else is real? Actually real? We are doing Payday Friday. We're ripping it now. We're ripping it quick. You guys have like 30 more seconds to figure this out. If you want to be involved, it is free. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. Do that right now. We're picking some of you from there. We're also picking some of you from, okay, the Discord one is going to end in 50 seconds. So if you're in the Discord, oh, it just finished. Never mind. Shout out to Roland, Maddie F. Me, Trippy, Texas Triumph, Crazy with a K, B-Ball, and San. All right, so we have some of our competitors. Congrats once again to Roland, Maddie F. Me, Trippy, Texas, Crazy, B-Ball, and San. So shout out to all of you. And then for the rest of you, we are going to do this one. You still have an opportunity. I'm going awfully slow. All right. Going awfully slow. You don't need this. You don't have to have tweeted no followers. All right. I'm going slow. I'm trying to give you a shot. Right here. I'm attempting. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, double top rejection on.
Order filled.
Fuck, I did the wrong order.
Order filled.
Well, it worked anyway. Gunner.
Order filled.
Dillawar, I'm sure I'm butchering that. My apologies. We'll call you Dilly Dally, and then Jacob. Gunner, Dilly Dally, and Jacob. That is rounding out our competition. So let me save this one over here. So I'm going to be reaching out. If you've heard your name called, you won something today. You won at least a prop count. Now from here, we need to figure out who's winning the cold hard cash. We need to figure out who's winning the cold hard cash. Okay, cool. You guys probably heard the trade. I locked in a little bit. Whoa, I locked in a lot, a bit more. Where did that come from? Maybe the slippage helped me. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. I've been scalping this like a motherfucker. Scalp. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but for all I know, I might be part Native American for how much scalping I'm doing. Okay, before you get pissy and you say that's like offensive, like racially offensive, like shut up. It's a joke. Like, I don't, sorry that I'm up to date on my history and I know that Native Americans scalp people. I didn't do it. Don't get mad at me. You can't call me racially insensitive for just calling out an aspect of history. I can already see it. You guys, man, you shouldn't. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. All right? It's a joke. All right? Like, why would you be mad at me? Be mad at the people who are doing the scalping. All right? Just chill. I I don't mean it offensively. I'm just calling out a funny aspect of what I'm doing in the market and how it's referred to as scalping. And the first thing that popped in my mind was Indians, not the ones at 7-Eleven, the ones who, unfortunately, we kind of ruined their entire way of life when we came to this country. Like those ones that I actually legitimately feel bad for. So maybe, if anything, I should get some form of an award for bringing more attention to an entire populace of people that are kind of having a rough run of it. Did you know per capita, Native Americans have the lowest income? I know right now when we bitch about like affirmative action and whatnot, a lot of eyeballs go to the African American community with the deep roots of like slavery and whatnot, or maybe the Hispanic community. But it's not even close. Like the minority community who by far is screwed over the most in the United States is Native Americans. So before everyone gets on their fucking high horse of what minority groups we should help, any basic research would actually tell you the group that is in most need, that the American government actually destroyed, like had a hand in destroying the most, was by far Native Americans. And if you don't believe that, well, maybe you should just go read a fucking book or something. So anyway, I'm allowed to say I'm Native American because I'm scalping the market. Probably a little offensive if I start showing up in a feathered headdress, but I'm also not against that, to be completely honest with all of you. Just to be completely honest with you, it would probably be offensive, but to me, that, like, I don't know if I should be sharing this publicly, but one time for Halloween, I was a Native American. And I don't know if I could get canceled for that. I don't know if I'm no longer able to run for president. But dude, I had the headdress. I had the little like brown smock thing. I had the cap guns that I don't know if you guys had these growing up, but there's like these little circular cartridges that when you pulled it back and it hit it, it just made like a pop. So I had a little cap gun. And then I don't think it really went well with the outfit, but then I also had my plastic jack-o'-lantern for all my candy. So if my mom ever decides to release that photo publicly, I don't think I can run for president. So just throwing that out. Yeah, I mean, that would probably be the fastest way to cancel any of my political ambitions. Dumb commentary. Hey, Rick Ace, that's not nice. How about that? How would you like it if I showed up to your job and said you were doing a dumb job? Imagine that. Imagine there you are, working day and night, working hard, putting food on the table. You're grinding it out 18 hours a day at the cuck factory. And I show up and I said, hey, you're doing a horrible job. How would you wouldn't like that, Rick? That's not nice. Maybe don't forget the golden rule. Treat people how you want to be treated. Jesus, Rick. Not nice, brother. Not nice. Nah, I'm not going to ban him. He's probably having a tough day at the cuck factory. Probably having a tough day. I'm going to start showing up to all of your jobs and start commenting on how you're doing. I'm going to show up to your jobs and see how you guys like it. What was I doing? Oh, we're doing the Payday Friday giveaway. Sorry, I got distracted. I got distracted. Let's get the race ready. Run game. Right. So who are our winners? All right. So from the Discord, we have Roland. We have Maddie F. Me. We have Trippy. Oops. Cap locks. Sorry. We have Trippy. We have Texas Triumph. We have Crazy with a K, which is how you know he's like super crazy. B-Ball. We have San G. All right. And then over here, who did we have? Let's see if I can remember it. We had Dilly Dally was the only one I really remember. Who were the other two? We had Dilly Dally, Gunner, and Jacob. Gunner, and then Jake Corn on Cob. Jacob Corn on the Cob. All right, cool. We're going to do motorcycles this time. And this time, let's do Saudi Arabia. Why not? Why not? All right. If you haven't been here before, what we're doing is kind of just the grand finale of every Payday Friday. So we've already selected 10 people. Those 10 people already getting a prop account. If you've heard your name called, congrats to you. You've already won something. But we need to see who the fastest racer in all the land is, which is exactly why we are going to be ripping it on motorcycles in Saudi Arabia. And the winner not only gets eternal bragging rights, but they're going to be able to tell their kids about it forever, put it on their resume, update their LinkedIn, and then they're also going to get some cold, hard cash. So with all that being said, I know the market's moving and grooving, so let's get this rocking to see who is going to win. And we are off. Row with an early start. There are speed ups. There are bonuses. There are benefits. There are ways. There's traps. But motorcycles are a bit faster, as you can see. B-Ball leading the race.
Friday.
All right, Texas Triumph. Corn on the cob, Jacob there. Ooh, this is anyone's race. Everyone's still in it. This is a 4-lap race. 4-lap race. Crazy is leading. Corn on the cob taking the lead into the conclusion of lap 1. Crazy, there's Roland. Roland refusing to give up. Everyone's still in the race. No one's lost their life yet. But Crazy had the lead and hit a trap. Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. All right, Texas Triumph catching the speed up and the jump, leading. But the peloton is not far behind. Corn on the cob just got murked. R.I.P. Jacob. R.I.P. Jacob. Gunner taking the lead into the end of the second lap. All right, we're officially just over halfway through. Who still has gas in the tank? Trippy leading, but hitting the same exact one who hit it before? Was it Rowe? It was Crazy, actually. All right, Crazy recap. Oh, Crazy getting trapped. Is tripped up in the second time, same place. Gunner and Rowe are at it going into the start of the final lap. All right, Dilly is not dallying. Here we are. All right, B-Ball leading the race. Final lap. This is it. Winner takes all. Prison Rules and Texas Triumph comes out of nowhere and then dies. Hits a bomb and Crazy. Dude, Crazy keeps getting tripped up. Same spot every single lap. Trippy leading the race. Can he hold on? There's 3 more turns. Trippy, Crazy coming out of nowhere. Crazy, can you hold on? Roland. Crazy and Roland. Who's going to lead? People! Maddie F me. What? Where the fuck was Maddie F me that whole time? Oh, wow. If I was B-Ball or Crazy, I would want a recount. If I was Crazy or B-Ball, I would demand testing. I would demand a look into performance-enhancing drugs. Crazy conclusion. Congrats to Maddie F. Me and B-Ball and Crazy, obviously. Respectable mention. But shout out to everyone who participated in Payday Friday. I do appreciate the engagement. That was a fun one. If your name was called, you got a prop account. You're not going home with nothing. And then obviously, Maddie F. Me, I will be reaching out to you because you also I'll be reaching out to everyone to get your information for the prop accounts. But Maddie F. Me, I will also need your PayPal so I can send you that money today. So your beer tab is on me this weekend. All right, there we are. Now back to trading. And apparently the whole time that happened, we were getting ready for this downside gap fill. All right, let's see what we can. This one and this one. All right, so on the right is the 5-minute chart, just to look at a little bit longer of a time frame, and then I like to kind of zoom in. So we have the 1 minute, we have the 5 minute. I find that it's kind of nice to see both. So that's what we're rocking. To explain a little bit, so when you see the green, that's aggressive buying, as in the buyers are the aggressors. They're meeting on the ask. The purple is selling. That's going to be when the sellers are meeting on the bid, aggressive selling. Now, what's kind of interesting is you can see that this is basically just exhaustion. This is a form of absorption. You had aggressive buying at the top. There's no follow through. So basically, we double topped into this aggression and got smacked. That's referred to as exhaustion. It's referred to as absorption. But basically, there wasn't enough buying for the follow through. So they ran into some sort of wall. And then right here, you're kind of seeing aggressive selling as we are selling off lower and lower and lower. But what's interesting is we're running into, let me see how I can best explain this. Volume profile. In between the two blues, that's where 70% of the trades have been done on the day. So we're just at the volume area high. We have a little bit of VWAP. I don't think the VWAP is properly updating though, which is a bit interesting. How do I... Nope, that's not how you do it. So you have VWAP and then you have the point of control. So the point of control is all the way down here. Let's double check it on the book map, which is above my head. We'll kind of double check some of these data sources. Yeah, we're actually at VWAP right now. So I don't know why the VWAP's not updating, but you can see in the sell-off, there's quite a bit of aggressive selling. You can kind of see better on the 1 minute. See all these purple circles? That's just aggressive selling. They're hitting the bid over and over again, especially as we are coming up on the data print low. The data print low, this is exactly 8:30. Is there a hotkey on this software? I bet there is. But anyway, the data print low. Okay, I don't exactly love how they do this. Oh, I guess it's not bad. I could draw it myself. Okay, see how we just, where it stopped, it was exactly at the data print low. 8:30 low to 8:30 high, very important. This is the market's reaction. Look at where there was a little bit of a bounce. It'll be interesting to see if it takes it out, but I'm looking at kind of these recent lows. Matt, I'm colorblind. Oh, that's a bummer. Chart indicators are delayed, Matt. Well, I have real-time data. I did hook up my real-time data. I just don't know why the VWAP's not updating, but regardless, you can see the VWAP above me, and then also we have many ways to track VWAP. I mean, where is the main chart? Right here. VWAP is this dash line. So we're kind of actually cracking at VWAP potentially as we speak. You know what? I want this one over here. And then I also want, where's the other one? Where's RTH VWAP? Do I not have, here it is, the orange. All right, so we're looking at VWAP, RTH. We're looking at it, RTH and session. One starts at 9:30, one starts at 6 p.m., but you can see some buyers are stepping in. Kind of cool to actually see this play out in real time right there. So let me zoom in to really explain it, to really show it. So once again, on the right side, this is just the 5-minute chart. And then obviously more of the specific action here is on the 1 minute. But you can see aggressive selling, a little bit of absorption right at the 8:30 print low. And then we had some buying and it's starting to show a little bit of a V formation. Will this have legs to it? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. But if you took that as a little scalp, that's more than acceptable. That's completely fine. Completely fine. Matt, purple offends me. You and me both, brother. It was the color of my high school rival. They wore purple, and every single time we had to play them at all in any sport or in any academic competition, they always pissed me off. So trust me, as much as it is riling you up, it is also riling me up. The purple may not be enough contrast for the viewers. Really? You guys can't see that? Should I make it like white or something? Can we do that? Would white be a better contrast? I thought this looked good, but is it not coming across on the stream well? Are you guys blind? I need a thumbs up, thumbs down on the purple. I'm being told that maybe the purple's not enough contrast. My school was purple and gold. I'm sorry. It looks fine. He's a liar. It's nice. Well, see? You guys are just... Uh-oh. It's cracking. It's cracking. It's cracking. My crackers. All right, we got the downside gap fill on QQQ. The SPY was rejected at the high from yesterday. And now the question is, how bad is this trend going to get? The 10-minute is trying to save itself right here at 650. So 650 and 600 are kind of interesting on the 10-minute. Looking on the 1-minute, we don't call, what was this one from? That was yesterday's high. Okay, so 686 is yesterday's high, but we might as well just look at, what is this opening print low? What was this one? That's the 15-minute high, which means, yeah, all right. So we're kind of seeing some key levels right now. I mean, if this cracks 640, that's not so good. That's not so good. Okay, I do have the trade copier set up properly. I'm just watching this because where are we dancing around now? It's literally the opening print. So we were kind of sideways, sold off to the next tranche, tried to push it, got smacked, and we're literally battling it out at 681. 640 would lead to what? 606 maybe? 604 was that last dip? Yeah. If 640 goes, I would be looking.
Order filled.
All right. I'm going to take a stab at this one. I put mine, what is this? Let's put it at 610. We'll front run it a little bit. Come on. All right. I am short at 63550 on that breakdown, and I am targeting just above what I perceive to be a key area, somewhere between 600 and 605. I'm front running it a little bit to see if I can lock in a nice $510. What's the gamma map saying today? We have quite a bit of negative gamma above and quite a bit of negative gamma, a little bit of negative gamma below. So that goes to about 720. There is stability at 700 and just below 700. This is kind of that battle zone. You can see it's where gamma goes from negative to positive. So kind of watching this zone here. As of this moment, it's roughly around 680, 685. So kind of watching that zone. And I'm kind of also awkwardly, how close did I get to getting my fill? It hit 613, so off by 3 points. If this somehow goes against me, I'm going to be so incredibly pissed off. But hey, it happens. We'll see. That was really close, though. Look how right there, 613, 610. I thought I was front running it by enough because, like I said, my area was 600 to 605. So I was front running it by 5 points. But even then, my front run was not enough. Not enough, apparently. I still really think this is going to play out. I'm going to give this a second. I'm not too worried about it. I did size down. I'm only playing one contract, so I can give it a bit of room. There is this VWAP up here. That's not my risk. I just wanted to see what it would be all the way up to RTH VWAP. All right, we're going to see. We're going to see. Does this play out in my favor or does it absolutely screw me? Yeah, negative gamma. There's a positive gamma. For those of you who are very bullish and think this could get going, I'm seeing some at 775. There's more positive gamma just below 800. That would obviously be of interest to the bulls, somewhere between 775, 790, something like that. We're at VWAP right now. VWAP is reading like 670, pretty much where we're at. Is this going to be a VWAP rejection or a recapture? If it's a recapture, I need to bail on my play. If it's a rejection, I'm looking good. What does negative gamma mean? So negative gamma is from the perspective of the market maker is when people are either long calls or long puts. So it's negative if the market maker is selling calls or selling puts. So negative gamma is from selling calls, selling puts, which means that market participants, you, me, hedge funds, everyone in between, is long that. So they're either long calls or long puts within this region. So it's intentional directional plays. So a better way to think of it is negative gamma, once again, from the perspective of market makers, is produced from when people are buying calls or buying puts from them. So the market maker is selling calls, selling puts. So that's how it's produced. But the way to read it, which is probably more useful, is this is slippery price action. This is where whichever way you get going, the market makers are going to support that momentum movement. So if you are trending up and you're trending up through negative gamma, the market makers will support it by continuing to go. And that's the mechanism of why that happens is just because they're balancing out their book. Basically, if they sold a bunch of calls, if people bought a bunch of calls from them, as it goes up, it's gaining delta value. And to protect their underlying book, they need to buy the underlying, such as SPY in this case, and then that pushes it even higher. But it does cut both ways. If there's negative gamma beneath you and you're dropping through it, the market makers do the same thing in the opposite direction. So as it goes, they need to basically balance out their book by shorting the underlying. So think of the negative gamma from the perspective of market makers as slippery price action. Whichever way you get going, it is a puck on a sheet of ice and you just keep going that way. Now, the purple down here, that's positive gamma. That's more of the sticky price action. So basically, the market makers are playing mean reverting. And if you go down, they're probably going to buy. If you go up, they're probably going to sell. So really the purple positive gamma, that's sticky price action. This red is slippery price action. And it just kind of tells us what market makers are most likely going to do in that environment. Are they mean reverting or are they trend following? So basically above 685, they're going to be trend following in whichever way the direction is. If we are below 685, they're most likely going to be more of mean reverting and they're going to be fading whichever way the directional move is. That's probably the easiest way to think of it. Are there any specific questions on that? Did I lose anyone? Did I confuse anyone? More than happy to try to explain it in a way that even someone like Rick could understand it as he is busy working at the Cuck factory. Does that make sense? Did I lose anyone? Once again, this is your time to ask questions. I'm in a good mood. I'm probably going to make money on this trade. Do I want to move it down even more? Is it going to be a double bottom? At this point, I kind of want to move it to 603. Get myself another $7. Oh, just hit a wall there. Just hit a wall. Right there. Just hit a wall. There's a wall of buyers. Will it crack that wall? Big resting order. So you're confirming that there, but also on Bookmap above, that's what this is. So I'm seeing them at 600 to 605. I probably a little too aggressively did move my order. Hang on. Let's move this like that. Let's move this like this so I can easily pivot between the two. Yeah. Still trying to get used to the best way to show this, best setup. Damn, they did do it off. Well, I would have never got my fill, so I can't be that pissed. It was 611. So mine was at 610. So I would be sitting here saying, 1 point. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I would be probably very, very angry about that one. But I can't complain now because I did move it down 7 more points to ideally lock in $650 on top of some of the money that I've already made on the day. Actually, I'm overshooting on the Tradeifys. All right, I moved it up, just got a fill because I was worried that I was overdoing it on the Tradeifys because you can only make 40%, so 1,200. So we max out the Tradeifys, so I'm turning those off. There's no advantage for me trading those anymore. Let's edit account. We'll reset the sim. Okay, so done on Tradeifys. Tradeify basically 1,200. We'll come back to that on Monday. Crushed it. But I'm now focusing on these where I seemingly need to make another, what is it, $300? I need to get these all to 52,000. So I need to make about $300 more, and then I'll pass 5 MFs motherfuckers, and then 5 lucids as well. So let's see if I could get in a couple additional good trades here. But you can see we are just skating through negative gamma, and maybe more interestingly is right here is we had this wall. Someone tried to produce a double bottom there. That's what this square is. It's a wall. It's a big sitting buy order, but you can see it bounced initially, and then there was enough aggressive selling that it cracked it. And now we are coming up to, I believe, the point of control, which is 540, which is also confirmed by Bookmap above my head. That is that yellow line. So the yellow line on Bookmap is equivalent to this magenta line here. That is the POC, the point of control. But you can see there's a lot of aggressive selling going on right now. Is it exhaustion? It might be getting absorbed, or they might be running it down. We have to wait to see how this structure sets up after this. Okay, okity dokity, artity chokities. Let's look on the 5-minute. What are we seeing? Anything of interest? We are sweeping the lows from. We're sweeping the lows from 8. Is there a global? Okay, yeah, I like this the best. Yeah, so we took out the low from 8. We took out the low from 620. And we just got a double bottom low at 561. I think this keeps going to the POC, the point of control. If you don't know what the point of the control is, that is just the singular price where most volume has transacted. So it's just literally where most volume has been traded that particular day. It's not an average value or that. It's just like the one singular value. Okay, what's weird is we have a little bit of selling absorption turning into buying, but then it just turned into a... No, it didn't. That buy wall was already there. Interesting. I want to see if this is right. Someone tried to sell aggressively and it just didn't keep going down. So think about that. If someone's selling aggressively and you start to bounce, that just tells you that sellers got trapped there. It's not the most overcomplicated thing, but what's catching my eye is, are we going to push to 540? That's what's catching my eye. And if we do, I might be able to use that for my final trade. I might be able to use that 4 times 15. Oh, do I really?
Order
all right,
filled.
let's see if we can lock this final one in. I took the short. That is way too much. I need 300.
Order filled.
What the fuck? Oh, I accidentally set it up wrong. I did 300 on risk. Uh-oh, my bad. Oops. Silly me. Silly me.
Order filled.
Silly, silly, silly me. What did I say this was? 40? So I'll go to 42. Accidentally switched that one up. I wanted to be in this play until... is it going to reverse on me here? Is it going to reverse? Little double bottom off of that. That's a strong bounce. This is still 40, right? This one's reading 40 as well. I'm really surprised. It was a little chasey. I think I more so got messed up because of the order mess up that I had. I accidentally had the risk and the reward swap, so one got hit pretty early. So definitely ended up being a little bit chasier than it was supposed to. Definitely ended up being a little bit chasier. Now the question is, do I want to cut it, or is it going to be a VWAP rejection? We're coming up on VWAP. VWAP is reading 68. Definitely incredibly chasey. Incredibly chasey. Here's your look. What's the flow doing today? The SPY started to recover there at 10:15. Maybe the old 10 a.m. reversal. We have to wait and see. We're right at VWAP. Once again, on NQ, VWAP is 667. A little bit of a pop there. Will this pop hold? Will this Palantir is going? Side note, not really the main emphasis of the show, but it is going. It is going. All right, we're at VWAP right now. What's going to happen? Oh, just ran into a bit of selling. Just ran into a bit of selling. Is this going to be the old VWAP rejection? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Right here. Just ran into it. Do I want to double down here? It would improve my average by quite a bit. It would definitely improve my average, and we just hit some selling. Oh, how do I want to do it? We're right at VWAP. What's this follow through going to look like / not look like? VWAP is 66. We keep pressing VWAP as we're talking. This is the VWAP level. Oh, that's actually right now. So I guess it finally updated. Will it hold? We're running into the 1 minute 50 EMA. There's a lot right in this area. There's VWAP, the 1 minute 50 EMA. We're running into 700. What do I want to do? Do I want to add a short here? Oh, decisions. Did the Qs just get their gap fill? They got it a while ago. A while ago, brother. Very much a while ago. Very much a while ago. You are late to the show here. All right, here's VWAP. Here's your 1 minute 50 EMA. It's like roughly the 1 minute 50 EMA is reading 690, and then RTH VWAP is reading 705. So basically from 670 to 700, roughly that 30-point zone is a key area. The question is, are we going to get above it? Once again, 670 to 700. Maybe you guys will be able to see it better here. 670 to 700. All right, it's pumping. It's pumping. It's pumping. It's pumping. Is it going to get rejected? Is it going to get rejected? Maybe yes. Maybe no. Maybe yes, maybe no. Time will tell. Time will tell. Oh, is it? Or is this actually a switch? Oh, there goes an MF. Oh, no, it got disarmed. Your following account has been disarmed. I need to look into some of these Replicanto settings. Oh, look at that recovery right there. Right back up to the high. Very important zone. Seemingly a very important zone. All right. We're going to see. We are going to see. So I maxed out the Tradeifys. That was good. Is this just going to get smacked here? Is this just going to get smacked? Maybe yes, maybe no. Stay tuned. I have no particular prediction on if it will or won't. I'm just saying if it does get smacked, it sets up an interesting risk-reward opportunity. Back down to the POC, which was 540, and we're talking at 700. Interesting opportunities, the geometry of the play. But it's holding above 7 for now. For now. It's still holding there. As the SPY, it's just trying to make its decision of what it actually wants to do or not. Is it going to hold? Interesting test. Like I said, pretty decent risk reward. Looks like maybe it's getting rejection. Is the short call the right call? Is the short call the right call? Should I have already been short at 720? I was thinking about throwing on the short at 720. Was that the right? Was it right? Was it wrong? Once again, who know really, like, you don't know the next trades. It's a game of risk reward. My little concern here is 670 will be support because you're going to have VWAP down there. You're going to have VWAP down there. I guess we just have to wait. It's stalling out for sure. I'm not seeing any interesting order flow stuff here, as in like sizable orders or anything like that. This is more, in my opinion, just a setup from the geometry of it, as in the risk to reward, minimal risk, higher reward if we full trip it. A little bit more interesting from that perspective, if you ask me. But hey, that's just 1 minute. It's fighting. This is just the battle zone. I think we just have to wait it out. The battle zone, the battle zone. The battle zone, the battle zone. SPY going for the new intraday high. The Qs on a relative basis are weaker intraday, but they're both sitting above their high from yesterday. Palantir is running like a madman. People are saying CoreWeave is going crazy. Not really. Was it a different one? I thought I saw comments that you said CoreWeave. CRM is looking good. Salesforce. My trade copier is just frozen. That's a little weird, right? Hey, that's a little weird, right? It might be failing here at 700. The issue is the risk is all the way up at 740. If you're wrong on it, you're out 40 points, aka $800 on a mini. So that is probably less than ideal if I had to guess. Why did that go dark? Why? Hang on. There we go. Okay, cool. I just didn't have like the right anchor page for some reason. SPY is going. SPY is going. SPY is going. Oh, my data is okay. Do I need to disconnect the Tradeifys? The Tradeifys are good. I don't want to trade the Tradeifys anymore because I max them out. There's not necessarily an advantage for me trading them. Okay, I think that's the proper mindset to have. Okay, then why can I not do what I need to do with them? Market's going, popping, full recovery above VWAP there. MFF is right. I can still trade on those, and I can still trade on the Lucids. That is what I should be doing. But why? Oh, I know what the issue is. Duh. All right, that's a ID 10T error, as in I'm being an idiot. This should fix it. Okay, I'm good to go. Fixed it, fixed it, fixed it. We lost the Iran war? I don't think so. Not yet, at least. Palantir is climbing pretty nicely. 1 minute pushing bullish, 5 minute fake out breakdown, 10 minute wicked below. Nice pop there, strong recovery. We are above the high. My next target would be 760 if you believe in the bull case on the day. All right. We have that low. We have this low. Nice bullish engulfing bar at 10:15. So it wasn't really the 10:15 reversal today or the 10 a.m. reversal today. It was more of the 10:15 reversal today. But we do roughly have this region to contest with now. So if you're looking on NQ, we have a little bit of resistance overhead and then maybe setting up for a push to the pre-market high at 687. But we have this zone between 800 and 820. That's a big zone as well. Jesus. Kind of a double bottom, I suppose. All right. So we have some pretty clear resistance. We have some pretty clear support. The trend was choppy, broke down, recovering. The question is what happens up here above 800. You could do a similar analysis on the S&P 500. Choppy, grinding up, breakdown, went to that 720 level that we were talking about, and now it's a skyrocket up to 760. Look at this. Huge. It was 10:15. I know we talk a lot about the 10 a.m. reversal, but let me switch this up. There you go. There's your book map. Today it was a 10:15 reversal, so it was delayed a little bit for Friday for whatever reason. But wow. Huh. Impressive. Nice recovery since then. Mag 7, same thing. It popped. It gave a lot back. 10:16, it started to pop. Looking at the NASDAQ, we popped, gave it back. Same thing. Found a bottom at 10:12. NASDAQ not following as much. It did pop, but now it's kind of going a little bit flat. You run into some positive gamma at 770 to 795 is your next region of positive gamma. 770 to 790 on SPX. Let's see. Oh, brother. What is this? One of the best performing stocks of the 21st century has nothing to do with computers, technology, or AI. Monster Energy drink launched in 2002. So we're about, 14 years later? 24 years later, excuse my poor math. $10,000 invested in MNST, the ticker for Monster Energy drink, before July 2003 would be worth over $21 million today. Sometimes the best investments aren't flashy. That's actually crazy performance. 10K in 2003 to 21 mil. Jesus. Just a mere 2 decades later. That's impressive. I don't think I've ever really traded or had much to do with that stock at all. I don't know if you guys have. I haven't touched it. I haven't done anything with it. Would I invest in the Neo cloud space? I have a small investment in CoreWeave. Once again, it's small. I like some of the other AI related cloud names better. But I do have a small investment in CoreWeave. I don't really actively trade it, but it is in my long-term account. It is. All right. We have some resistance. Let's see if this turns into support here. On NQ, we never really got up to that level. And it's getting smacked. So see if it can hold 700. Once again, where's VWAP is around 74-ish right now, 72-ish. So it's just below some of this region in here. Just below, like a hair below. I mean, it cut through that pretty nicely. It was the opening low. Then we cut through it, turned into resistance, smacked. We broke through it, turned into support. So this region seems to be, actually, I kind of like, do I like that as a long? How much do I like it as a long? Is that the risk? Did I fuck up that order again? Yeah, it never saved. What the fuck is going on? Okay, that was really a stupid way to lose money again. All right, should we get tilted now and get pissed off about it? Wow. No, it just, I took the long at 50 and it hit me at 40. So I guess it was only 15 points it took the hit, but that was stupid. I never fixed the order from before. I was just trying to go long there, and it acts like I said, I'd be holding the long now at 750, trying to target 800. And who knows, maybe I got lucky that it knocked me out. That was once again, I inverted the risk and the reward. So that sucks. So someone just asked, do I have a position right now? I do not, because I just got knocked out. I was trying to go long. Can you explain about the share unlock, why it didn't move more? Buyers and like, why does anything move? It's just aggressive buying, aggressive selling. If there's more aggressive buying, you go up. If there's more aggressive selling, you go down. That's kind of it. It sounds like you're confused why there wasn't more aggressive selling related to the unlock, but then you'd have to go talk to the people who, is this going to fail here? You'd have to talk to the people who had their shares unlocked and ask them why they didn't sell. That's up to them. I mean, the markets are always inherently going to move from aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers. Whatever, if there's an imbalance, we move in that direction, which I think you obviously know if you're watching this. So it sounds like your question is really, why wasn't there more aggressive selling? But then you'd have to go ask the people who have shares why they didn't sell. That's kind of exclusively up to them. Why long aren't we in recession? Negative non-farm payrolls, meaning contraction. Because recession has to do with your economy, commonly the growth of GDP, and that's, what do you mean? Our unemployment report is at 4.1%. Like, what are you looking for there to be, like, why? I guess looking at the numbers, one jobs report was less than expected, the one that we just had. That's true. Unemployment is at like a historic low. It's at 4.1%. So it's really tough to argue a recession when you're at that. Why long? I think you mean, I guess your question was, why long aren't we in a recession from negative non-farm payrolls, meaning contractions have begun? Because you're looking at I suppose, the wrong metrics of what dictates a recession, to just directly answer. All right, we're coming up to this area of support. It was support. We cut through it, became resistance. It turned into support again. Will we get the bounce? We also have VWAP as well, down at 674. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Bad payroll makes it hard for the Fed to raise rates. That is a true statement, but it doesn't have anything to do with how we commonly define a recession or not. So most of the time with a recession, it's just defined by a GDP contraction. Fast forward to COVID era, and then they said, okay, we're going to look at that. But then they started to bring in some other metrics where they like just didn't want to admit we were in a recession. So by any definition of a recession before COVID, it was just GDP contraction. Since then, they started to play like a little fugazi with the whole thing, if you ask me. So since then, we thought we had a really well defined, but now we kind of don't. They're seemingly taking in some of the labor market things as well, but still, with all that being said, being understood, that still doesn't have anything to do with 1 month of missing on non-farm payrolls. Unemployment report is at 4.1%, which is a actually pretty close to a record low ever. So I think this is just kind of getting definitional. But right now the economy is not weak. It's not the strongest economy readings we've ever had. But if you're sitting there just like looking at the stock market and thinking to yourself, man, like we have to go so much lower, the economy sucks right now. It doesn't. That might be your personal perception. Maybe just like your own job, your own bills. Yeah, I'm not saying that doesn't potentially exist. What I'm saying is just the major readings, PCE, CPI, unemployment report, the major readings that the Fed's going to be going off of, they're not showing like some sort of crazy like downturn or anything like that. They're just not. Okay, what was I doing? But I know sometimes the major government numbers, like I would not be the person to tell you we should trust all the government numbers. I understand that the government doesn't always necessarily like tell us the straight up truth. So your personal life experience could very well be different here. That's a fair thing to say. Be like, hey man, like I get the numbers from the government, but here's how like real life in whatever your areas. But that's not your personal perception of what's going on, which very well could be true, is not necessarily how our government's going to be making decisions or statements such as the fact that we're in a recession or not. So kind of two separate things there, which I am personally a big believer. Damn, that was a bounce. I am a big believer in our personal perceptions are probably a lot more spot on with what's actually happening in the world versus what the government's telling us. Once again, we don't necessarily have anything to back that up or to contradict it. It's just like a personal feeling I have. All right, we are cutting through this area. It was support. We're cutting it lower high. If this doesn't quickly recover, I'd then be looking at, I don't know, the zone of 40. Yeah, 40 is still the point of control, it seems. No, it's not. The point of control. Yeah, it is. Okay, 540. Sorry, 540 is a point of control. I was looking at 640 as just the next technical stop. So off by 100 points. My bad. My bad on that one. Okay, reset. What am I trying to do today? What am I trying to do? We might be fighting here. It did wick before. I'm curious about if this actually gets hit or not. And by the way, this is happening just at VWAP. Above my head, you can see VWAP is at 675. So this is technically a VWAP bound. So just this little wick below, and it ran into a wall as well. Little wicks below, I don't count as a break. Sometimes, whatever, you just have like a random errant order, which that happens. That happens. The question is this going to hold or not? If it does bounce, I'd be looking for minimum and push to 740, but really 780 followed by 800. If this pushes, if this is a higher low compared to the 10-12 load. However, if this continues with its recent pattern of lower highs and we crack 669, I'm looking at 640, and then I'm looking to the low 600s. But it's all going to come up to VWAP. It's all going to be decided by VWAP. What are you guys saying? Anything interesting? Anything of interest? I want to catch up on these just to see if we missed any good combos. I think I should just fully disconnect the Tradeify so I don't accidentally trade on it. But just once again, Tradeify made just below 1200. That is their 40% consistency. So there's no advantage for me to continuing to trade on it. So we did that, and I'm still going with the Lucids and with the Lucids and the MFFs. I'm still rocking with and I just want to make sure they are all properly on. They are all properly on. Okay, cool. Cool beans. Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. A little bit of recovery there. I just realized you guys can't see what I'm seeing. There's your book map, giving you back your book map. We'll make it a bit bigger. This might be a failure. Hang on. We wicked up, getting hit. All right. I'm going to take a stab at that. I'm taking a stab at this. Where the stop is the recent high. If we make a fresh high, I just have to admit that I'm wrong. Okay, that's what I need to go for because of slippage. I think something like that. Something in this rough area. This is 82. 82.25. Okay, no, I do. I think I was right at 805. All right, so why this play? You might be thinking, Matt, what in the world are you doing? Why are you possibly doing this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Okay, all trade copiers are on, showing a little different. All right, I'm looking at VWAP maybe not holding. We bounced. It bounced up, lower high. And maybe more importantly is what I'm seeing here in terms of the order flow. You could see there was a wall. We just cracked it. There was a resting wall that saved us at 675. We bounced up, it put in a lower high, and we're just battling it out. Of course, buyers could step in right now. They might see that and be like, hey, I want to ride with that guy and pop it. But I just saw on this that we're starting to crack the wall that got us to pop before. And if it goes from there, it's kind of all, I suppose, aligning, if you will, at this VWAP. So I'm looking for a VWAP crack. My fill's right above it. As you can see, I'm risking 765. I'm risking that high. It is above the other VWAP. So we were ping-ponging in between the two VWAPs, and my bet is cracking down just because of what I'm seeing on the side of order flow. Maybe it's right. Maybe it's wrong. I have well-defined risk, and I'm going to just above 600. But obviously, I'm just trying to play the fall from this one VWAP if it were to happen. And just from a level standpoint, I wish there was a way to just like auto extend this out. I care about this zone. First of all, this pop did not reach the zone. So that tells me a little bit of weakness. So we had established highs, we had established lows. We took out the established lows. We had new price discovery all the way down. On the recovery, very strong recovery from the initial low from market open. But on the pop-up, we just couldn't quite get there. The top was 780 when before we were kind of talking about 810. So it was a lower high. So not as much enthusiasm as I thought, but I thought, okay, maybe it just comes back down here like we saw at 1036 and it's just a higher low and then we pop up. So I was trying to be patient and I saw a little bit of life. And honestly, if you took that long at 36, 37, I don't mind it at all. And you had a couple points in there, but unfortunately it came down and we had this bearish engulfing, popped up, another wick lower, and then we were just kind of grinding. The order flow is against you right now. So looking at this development right here, I had a completely different opinion. I said, oh, we found support once again, 1 support, 2 support. We're going to get going. This is just temporary. We're ripping to 820, but it all changed at 1039 when someone pushed it. They tried to fight here at 1042, another wick lower, cloud turn, and we're just now kind of pushing. Now, of course, as much as I could show you that's bullish, all of a sudden it turns bearish. This is a very dynamic situation. It does all change. So just because you see one thing at one point, you have to take in the new information. I was also then looking at the walls that we were taking out. We're right at RTH VWAP at 710 now. Or is this going to hold? It's roughly the 100 EMA. What are we doing here? This is going to be, in my opinion, pretty decisive. Are we keeping with this trend of lower highs, or are we actually going to buck the trend here and take out 720, take out 736? How is this looking? Okay, so what's looking better is the S&P 500. See this area of resistance, 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 resistance. We break through, support, support. Right now it's holding. So on a relative basis, the Qs actually look weak. The Nasdaq looks weak, but the SPY looks strong. This is reminiscent of yesterday where they were kind of doing their own two things. I think yesterday was opposite though. Nasdaq looked strong. The S&P 500 looked weak. Right now, in my opinion, the reason the Nasdaq isn't plummeting is actually because the S&P 500 is catching a pretty decent bid and resistance properly turned into support. It's catching a bid now. All right, my risk got hit. Now that we took out that high, the question is, do I think it'll actually go? Do I think this was just a brutal fake out? We'll find out. The SPY saved it. It really did. Watching this to see if we actually crack it or not. Like I said, I kept my risk to that recent high. I wanted that trend to continue. Looks like maybe I got caught up in a bit of a trap because it looks like it's getting hit anyway. Yeah, fuck. I did. I got wicked out for no reason on that. All right. Well, let's not spaz out. That was I think a $800 hit. Unfortunately, it's like kind of the upper range of how much I'm actually willing to risk. This pops up. What are we doing? What in the world are we doing? It's really, the question is, does this resistance actually turn into real support? All right, I'm taking another stab at it. Once again, risk is just the recent high. I feel stupid, but hey, maybe it'll work. What's that? 585. That's quite a bit lower. Okay, I might have to readjust on that. Is this just another wick fucking low though? All right, lower highs, higher lows. We're just waiting. You can see there are buyers at 703. What do these buyers think is going to happen? Trying to keep the risk in control. I'm just literally, the risk is basically at the structural high. I'm trying to be disciplined and not move it. The short's at 700, by the way. It is short. I am short with the risk right here, 731. I obviously, saw this and thought, oh, lower high, little fake out, little fake out. Here we go. We're going back down to 660. And then the very next bar was wrong. I'm not seeing anything the most interesting or insightful on order flow, but I am seeing a clear mismatch on the S&P 500 and on the Nasdaq. The S&P 500 try to get going. If it cracks this, that's a warning sign for the bulls for sure. If you come below 740, try to treat this as support. I don't know if it will break. I'm just saying if it does, think about what that means. It was resistance. It turned into support. You bounced. If it can't hold, a failed breakout is by definition bearish. Like, it's trying to get going. This is the retest. It wants to go. If it cracks this and it's the 1 minute 50 EMA, like I said, I cannot tell you the future. I don't know if this breakout will hold. I can tell you though, if it breaks down, by definition, that's a failed breakout. It has to be bad news. That cannot be good. And why this is all happening, NQ is just pinned going sideways. So we just have to wait at this point. I'm not seeing anything in terms of price development. I'm not seeing anything in terms of order flow. We just have to wait for something to happen. And actually, speak of the devil. All right, we're back to support. All right, it might be cracking this, which is also then roughly going to be VWAP. VWAP is what? It is 675. So just below this zone where we were kind of doing this whole chop fest. All right, watch for it to take out 660. 660 goes to 640, goes to probably 600. Bouncing off of VWAP once again, though. VWAP is not going down without a fight. VWAP is definitely not going down without a fight. Can you guys see it better here? Your VWAP is 675. Remove right here. Bounce. We tag it, bounce, tag it, bounce. Tagged it for the third time. We'll see. Could be a little fake out breakout. We saw some enthusiasm in the SPY. I'm really not the most sold on anything, but I'm going to set an alert here because I feel like this actually might be important. A bounce again could be a higher low on the SPY. It might be saving itself right in the zone where it needs to kind of save itself at support. But let's set this alert to see if it actually cracks. Once again, I'm looking at the low from 1039, which is 741, which is basically 660 on NQ. NQ is a bit weaker. You can see it's pushing below its zone. If this breaks 660, yeah, there might be a little bit of a hiccup at 640, but I'm actually looking for basically 600. This is a bit of a wider zone just because not much actually traded there. What is that? 540? 580? Honestly, I'm looking for, if this goes, if 660 goes, I might, as of now, I'm looking for sub 600. There might be 60 points on this if it can crack 660, if it can crack VWAP. VWAP is right here. And as you can see, just from the ninja, it's holding it well. We'll see. Can it actually crack? Could be an inverse shoulder, head, shoulder. But I don't think so. According to order flow, there's definitely some pressure here. On the crack of 650, 25 points south, I'd probably move my stop to break even. I'm short at 700. But for all I know, this could be huge support and we could bounce and it could rip my face off. You never know. I think it cracks though. I don't know, man. Every time I do, I come back to the SPY. The SPY is showing strength. SPY is showing strength. NASDAQ is showing weakness. Which one's right? NASDAQ is selling off. Mag 7 is ripping. S&P 500 is going flat. So you have one that's neutral, one that's bullish, one that's bearish. It's a chop mess right now. Choppy mess. All right, let's go to the 5 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute, 5 minute, 5 minute. Pop off of 680 back to 700. 708 is RTH VWAP. Is it going to get going? Right off of VWAP. It's almost 11. How does this want to actually go? NVIDIA kind of climbing up. SpaceX is up. Actually, SpaceX on my watch list, I believe, is up the most. SpaceX and Palantir are having a pretty decent day. We might have just got rejected. We're doing, if you were wondering what's going on, we're just painfully ping-ponging in between the two VWAPs. We have the session VWAP and we have the RTH VWAP. We go a little below, we go a little above, we go a little below, we go a little above, we go a little below, we go a little above, we go a little below, we go a little above. Like, we're just in ping-pong hell. So you just have to wait. I kind of wish I wasn't in a trade. The fact that I'm in the trade, I'm rooting for the downside, and I was kind of rooting for the downside because I was looking at the Nasdaq this whole time, and I was like, oh, the options are selling off, not really being privy to the fact that the Mag 7 is absolutely ripping. So these are telling two completely different stories, as the S&P 500 is telling no story whatsoever. And it also did just recapture this. It bounced out of support. 1, 2, 3, bounced. So we have clear mismatch today. Again. Again. Do I just want to cut this now, or do I want to wait for the risk? Is it just going to get smacked here again? Order flow. There's nothing special going on here. Nothing special. The question, is it actually going to hold 750? Is it actually going to hold 700? Patience. I mean, that's all we can do. I thought something was really going to get going here in between 1039 and 1042. Looked like some weakness, and the weakness was just a fake out because the SPY was too strong. Gotta wait. Ping pong hell. Chris, I fully agree. Nothing to do now but wait. See which one becomes reality. See which one becomes reality. Yeah, it just... the EMAs are just going so painfully flat. Picking up a little bit, showing a little bit of life. My wrist just got hit. It now taking out that high, whatever the high, I had mine at 32. So took that L, just trying to be reasonable about it. Took that L. That sucks. If this pukes from here, I'm going to be pissed off because that would be the second bullshit wick out. Yep. Just not giving it, I suppose, enough space. All right. Yeah. It just classic stop hunting roughly goes into this zone. That's the danger of like using it to like a tick more. It literally knocked me out there just to do fucking nothing. This EMA, it's nothing. Like, we're just pinned. This is so boring. Mag 7 still going. NASDAQ flattening out on the bottom here. This is so incredibly boring. Chop, 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 city. Not even interesting, like, whipsaws from, like, one level to another. Like, literally just going nowhere at this point. Actually nowhere. Knowing how the market gods treat me, probably that wick out will be the top, and we'll just vomit from here if I really had to guess. If I really had to guess. But maybe I shouldn't. I'm tempted to almost like revenge trade and try to get in on this and try to do something, but I don't know. It's Friday. It is 11. They've already been slow, and I'm just worried if they slow down even more. Dude, the best play might be literally to do nothing right now, just to wait for this afternoon and see if something's happening, because nothing is happening. We got this sell off, we got this pop, nothing. Sell off, pop, nothing. Individual stocks are doing something. The options flow is telling massively different stories on the day. One's up, one's down, one's flat. The ES kind of very much support. Is this the attempted long? Maybe. Who knows? Is it going to get going? I guess if it gets going, your target could be 780, followed by somewhere between 800 and 820. If you're looking on SPY, it did 1, 2, 3 times save itself. I'd be looking at 760, which I believe is still. Now, honestly, you could probably even go a bit higher. a bit higher. Choppiness, folks. We can't do anything about it. Sometimes the market just doesn't have interesting moves. Like I said, individual equities seemingly have interesting moves. We're just not experiencing that in terms of the overall market. So you have positive gamma from 720 to 780, negative gamma in that zone. So just be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. Not much is going on. I got knocked out of mine, and I just feel as if maybe that's a good time to literally do nothing, because this is just painful chop city. Like, actually nothing is going on. So painful. So painful. All right. Well, happy payday Friday to all of you. Obviously, specialty shout out to both TPT and Vanquish. Code Goonie will get you the best deal there. If you won, I will be reaching out to you at some point today or this weekend to get you your winnings, whether it's the prop account or the cash. Shout out to Maddie F. Me. In terms of the market, we are range bound, and we've been range bound since 10:30. A little bit of a 10:15 reversal popped us back up. The Qs are doing nothing. The SPY is slightly, like, they're both green. They're both slightly above the high, but they're just SPY showing nothing. Mag 7 is showing enthusiasm. NASDAQ is showing weakness. Folks, there's just nothing going on. So don't force it. I guess that's my biggest tip, is absolutely do not force it. So just wait. Maybe something happens this afternoon, or maybe this is just an off day and that's going to be it. So please protect your account. Overall, I do appreciate all the good vibes. I appreciate you guys engaging in Payday Friday. If you want a Vanquish account, a TPT account, use that code Goonie. Other than that, thanks for all the good vibes today. Thanks for all the good vibes this weekend. And I will catch you guys on the flippity flip next week. So we'll post some content in between now and then. But other than that, we will be streaming next week. That's what I have for you. Best of luck today. Don't get chopped up. Peace.